Yeah, obviously it hasn't been too bad because obviously we got all the drains in last week. But it's still been a challenge. It would have been lovely if it had been dry. We're actually waiting just for the ground to dry a little to put the finishing touches on. I'm stood on a bit that's finished and ready for seeding. We've got to find the pop-ups, pop them back up. We've got the far side to just work in and get sorted and work around the edges, get all the edges trimmed in. And then a bit of fertiliser will go on, and then the seeding, and then fingers crossed. We know it's going to go dry, the forecast is dry, but we'll have the irrigation which we can pop up and down as we need it. And then hopefully in 10 days we'll have some green shoots, and that'll be the start of next season for me, really, me and my team.
And when you see that first shoot go up, is that when you kind of breathe a sigh of relief that you know you've got there?
No, to be honest, there'll be sighs of relief breathed when the seed goes on, because it's been a bit of an ordeal, to be fair. The weather's give us a few sleepless nights, and because of the fact there's nothing on here, it's last night's shower just about summed up the whole job, really. Just get to the point where we're a couple hours away from getting the levels done, and the heavens open, and we get ridiculous amounts of rain again. But that's the nature of working on the ground, and you've got to roll with the punches and do what you got to do. It just makes this bit, the next, the finishing touches, you just got to wait for it to dry out and work the ground when you can work it, and not before.
Personally, how have you found overseeing the project? I mean, every time I've popped out, I've seen you, getting involved in bits and bobs here and there as well.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Obviously, it's a completely different surface. I mean, what we stood on here now is very firm, even though, horrendous amounts of rain. And that's what we've done it for. We've done it for the firmness of the surface. So even in wet conditions, speaking to my colleague down at Plymouth, he said you'll notice a completely different surface. You're divoting, you won't be getting big heel marks because the surface is really firm. And we're really looking excitedly towards the different, managing it slightly different to the old soil-based pitch, and taking the surface forward, where we want to be, where the club wants to be. So yeah, really looking forward to the next phase of looking after it, and also looking into how we're going to look after it by chatting to other guys that have got the surface. So yeah, it's really exciting times.
Absolutely. I mean, last time we chatted, you mentioned that you weren't sure whether you'd have to take up the AstroTurf down the side. I mean, are you any further in that process? Yeah,
we are definitely further in that process. We're definitely going to have to raise it. The levels are above. It was already above the Astro, to be honest, end of last season, and we were talking about it then, but waited to do the renovations. But it definitely is going to have to be lifted. It's been in 4 years now, and it does settle. We'll get those levels up, and also I think we're looking into putting a shock pad underneath the AstroTurf, which as and when we get promoted, which I'm sure we will in the next few years, that AstroTurf will be still okay in the next league up, which obviously it's all about future-proofing stuff, and if you can, we're going to have to lift it anyway, so we might as well put the shock pad under. And I've got a few little areas I need to put some specialist drains in. While we got the surface off, we'll do that at the same time. Again, it's all about future-proofing stuff and making sure we don't have to go back over it. And we are going to get heavy rains, and we do still want to play football on here, and get the games played.
Absolutely. I'm sure I'm going to ask you a really stupid question here, but going back to your grass seed, is it any kind of special grass seed, or is it the kind of grass seed that I'd use on my lawn at home?
Yeah, no, it is. It's a grass seed you can use on your lawn at home. It's a ryegrass, which, well, if you're happy to fertilise it and cut it a lot, yeah. So yeah, it's the high quality sports ryegrass, which is used across the country on every rugby pitch, football pitch, cricket squares, and it's something that will take a bit of wear, will grow quickly, but it is quite hungry for feed, and it is quite needy of water. So yeah, it's a bit high maintenance, but that's what you need. You need something that's going to grow back quickly when it gets a little bit of damage, and you can hopefully produce a real consistent sward, so the bounce is even right the way across the pitch.
And going forward, I guess updates will probably slow down a little bit now, but I mean, we'll keep people updated with, you know, how the grass is progressing and any other changes you're making to the ground, really.
Yeah, obviously we've got stuff going on at the Camp Fiddle, and I was going to invite you out there if you can behave yourself, and we'll might make you a bacon sarnie and do a bit of an update out there, because there's been a lot going on out there last week. It's been neglected a bit the last few days, because obviously we're concentrating on getting the seed on here, and we want to be a part of the renovation in here. So me and my guys are doing a bit just around the edges, so we feel it's part of our, it's our pitch, and we want to see a few little tweaks done around the edges that we've been unhappy with. But we've got a cat and fiddle to do, and I'll probably, once the seed goes on here, I'm probably going to sleep for about a week, I think.